Hi, welcome to Bookie. Today we will unlock the book Pre-suasion, a revolutionary way to influence and persuade. When it comes to being influential and persuasive, we may think of manipulating the attitudes and decisions of our audience through communication and negotiations. We may believe that we can do this by polishing our proposals or using a specific communication strategy. However, we should also consider the following question: are there other powerful approaches for persuasion, aside from the common ones, that we already know? The answer is yes. The author of the book Pre-suasion, Robert Cialdini, once knew a superstar salesperson named Jim. Jim worked for a company making heat-activated fire alarm systems. He had a distinctive trick that helped him outperform his colleagues. Jim never brought the product documents into the house of customers. Instead, when it was time to demonstrate how the alarm system worked, Jim would slap his head and say, "Oh, I forgot some really important information in my car." Afterward, he would ask for the door key so that he could take the documents back and open the door without wasting the customer's time. Over time, Cialdini noticed that Jim's forgetfulness was not an accident. He was curious and asked Jim about it. Jim said, "Think of it this way. Who do you let walk in and out of your house on their own? Only somebody you trust, right?" In other words, Jim tricked the customers into associating him with a sense of trust before he had actually demonstrated the product. This trick made Jim stand out among his colleagues. And this is what the book Pre-suasion wants us to know. The most effective way to persuade our audience is to trigger their receptiveness before they encounter our message. In other words, we can influence our audience before getting to our main point, and this is done by carefully crafting what we say and what we do. This is termed persuasion by Cialdini. Most often, it is not the most accurate or useful counsel that determines a person's choice. It is the factors that draw attention at the moment of decision. Warren Buffett recommended this book in Berkshire Hathaway's 2017 annual shareholder meeting. The author of this book, Robert Cialdini, is globally renowned as the godfather of influence. He is a famous American social psychologist and a world-renowned prominent expert on persuasion. Cialdini received his doctorate degree at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. After his postdoctoral research at Columbia University, Cialdini obtained a professorship at Arizona State University. During his time there, he has conducted teaching and research on social psychology for many years. Cialdini is now the Regents Professor Emeritus of Psychology and Marketing at Arizona State University. He has devoted his career to research on the psychology of influence and earned an international reputation in the areas of persuasion, compliance, and negotiation. In addition to this bookie, we have also summarized another book of Cialdini's influence, The Psychology of Persuasion. This particular book, titled Influence, sold more than 3 million copies globally. Cialdini claimed 6 psychological universals of persuasion in that book, including reciprocation, liking, social proof, authority, scarcity, and consistency. The book Influence was written to inform customers on how to resist undue or unwelcome influence. Later on, however, Cialdini found that people were more interested in effectively influencing and persuading others rather than resisting these persuasive maneuvers. In response to this, he wrote a second book, Pre-suasion, a revolutionary way to influence and persuade, which we will explore further in this bookie. We will interpret Pre-suasion in 3 parts. Part 1, the front-loading of attention. Part 2, the role of association. Part 3, the optimization of Pre-suasion.